Hey everyone, Anthon-patapon here, and today we're going to continue with some more CTR Nitro Fuel for the Sony PlayStation 4. This time, I'm here to take care of analyzing all of the current tracks in Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel. As you may be well aware of by now, the Grand Prix is finished. We now have all the tracks that we're going to get from this game, unless they surprise us, but I doubt it. Anyway, what I'm going to be doing now is by having 2 playthroughs of each track per video. So the first one will just be me playing it, and the second will be breaking down what's going on and why I'm doing this. There will be some focus on some very specific details, because I feel like in order to be able to express this knowledge in a way that people can understand it, I have to try cutting it down by pieces so I can be able to show exactly what I'm talking about. However, we are not taking care of Crash Cove today, which will be episode 1, because this is episode 0. We're going to be going the time trial and showing off a mechanic that is very important to CTR in terms of racing. This is very important knowledge to know. Alright, so there's 2 things that I think it's very important to know. Jumping and power sliding. Obviously you need to know how to drive, but it's a racing game. You should know that by now. Same with turning, holding X to accelerate, circle button for the items, square button for the brakes, and then a triangle button for your overlay, but we're not worried about those. So as you can see, in order to power slide, all you really need to do while driving is just the first one. This is what you need to do for power sliding. While driving, hold the R1 button or L1 button, which is the hop button. You just have to hold it and then hold left or right to make sure you can make your turns. The reason why this is important is because by doing this, you don't really lose too much of your speed going through this maneuver compared to turning, where it does cut off and slightly halt a little bit. Now, for the second part, the power slide boost. While you're doing this, you actually have another button over here on the shoulder, which is either L1 or R1 depending on what you're using. For this, if you hold the R1 button the whole way down while you're doing this, you see a little gauge on the bottom right. It doesn't matter which one you're using, it's the same thing. Here, if you press the other button, the other shoulder button, while driving with the power slide, here, you're able to get a boost. You can get up to 3 with the other shoulder button this way. Now, I recommend practicing to get to good before practicing on getting perfect, because there's a lot of stuff that will happen in a race, so it'll be a little difficult to focus while playing. But if you can get the perfect, if you can get the timing down for it, that would also be great. But yeah, this is where I would recommend some practice on your own time and just have fun with it. And see how far you can go with being able to do power slide boosts. If you do it too early, you won't get anything. If you hold it for too long or it's too late to press a button, that's also a fail. Now the other thing, the jump. Power sliding isn't the only way you can get a boost. If you jump from a high enough position, like right here on the pirate ship, if by doing this, you can get a boost. How much boost you get, it depends on how high you're jumping. But in most cases, the jumping will be around the same spot and on the same length with boost. The point is, if you're over here, while you're over on the side that has a high enough gap where you can jump on it, you can see a character in a trick animation. Very important. You'll be able to know how long it is that you'll be maintaining in the air while holding a boost. These are the 2 most important things to keep in mind when it comes to racing in CTR, especially when you want to keep the race. Why? I'll show you why. Now, this is a race that will happen just by playing, if I were to play it normally. This is how long it will take, with a little boost, head start. This is what it'll look like if I'm racing it normally. Yeah, not exactly the most exciting, nor is it really practical. So, this is what the race will look like with the use of power sliding and jumping for boost. Bit of a difference, isn't it? Alright. I'll try to show this off again. But this time I'll try to give you an example of how this will go. Just an example. We're only going to do one lap. We're not going to do all three. So right off the start with the power drifting, or power sliding, whichever you want to call it. A lot of people tend to call it power drifting as well. I tend to be very interchangeable with the ways use these terms, but know that they mostly mean the same thing. So as you can see, with the way I'm turning myself with power drifting, doing this makes it so I can be able to cut corners while I'm still going faster. There's another mechanic that I haven't mentioned on top of, you know, power slide boosting and jump boosting through the air that I've yet to mention, but I won't talk about that until after we get through Crash Cove. Just know that it's something, just know that that is the mechanic I'm mentioning right now is the reason why the boost can just last for so long, other than the fact of the power sliding. Alright, I said I was only going to do one lap, but let me show you. Now you saw how quick the boost went when I was using it through the normal race, right? This is what it looks like now. With no more power sliding. Very significant difference. We could just call this little hidden mechanic the boost extender. There is an official term for it, but right now let's just focus on using this as a way to just put us in an equal understanding. A boost extending mechanic. So with that being said, a TLDR, basically, power sliding and power slide boosting are functions you should be focusing on the ground, whereas with jumping and air boosting, obviously that's something you should focus on maneuvering yourself in the air. However, both are equally important to understand when it comes to this, and the most important thing, the third most important thing really, but the most important thing I'll say regardless, is the course knowledge, which is where this series continues. This time I'll do it on single race, because single race will give us a better perspective of how it'll look in a race. So with that being said, this is Nitrous. Thank you guys for watching, and next time we will be here for Crash Cove, the very first track of the 40 track journey.